Okay, so in this video, we'd like to demonstrate the new CHIPS portal. Okay, so upon coming to the website, you'll be presented with the new template that we're using here. So here we have a brief introduction, and at the bottom here we have the services, so-called, that's available to everyone who accesses the site. So there's no security behind this here. We have the resources for projects and coordinators, which is a section which we're implementing for the operational unit. We have the document signing. Here is what we had before, which is allowing the board members to sign the necessary documents. Again, behind this, we use an Adobe Sign for the submission. Uh, we have a section for the PAB and GB members. So this is just showing information about the different teams. So introduction, the chair, and we have the list of all the PAB members. The data at the moment on this site is in development mode, so the database is not up to date. Um, we have added a contact form to prevent email addresses from being spammed. We prefer to use the contact form. So over here, any board member or any visitor can ask questions. These are the topic areas. By selecting calls, for example, once you submit your query or your question, an email will be sent to you as an acknowledgement, and the message will be sent as well to the calls mailbox. It's the same thing for boards. To go through to the board's mailbox, technical support will come through to IT, and inquiries is the general inquiries mailbox that we have here. We've had to add the capture because in the past we saw that there were bots that were using the form and spamming our mailboxes, so we've had to add this extra capture security in there. So in general, when you come to the website, you'll need to sign in. We're using the same system as we did before. So we create a guest account for you, and using that guest account, you log on to the server and you will be provisioned based on what you have rights to access. You will see this within the website. So you click on sign in. You'll see here we've updated the sign in page to stop confusion. We noticed in the past that before in the past, there was a section for registration. So when users tried to sign in, they had problems to try to create an account, but this account was not useful for us. It wasn't used at all. So we've removed this and asked the developers to redesign the page. So when you come to sign in now, the only thing you can do is to sign into the portal. So it's a zero signing. In my case, I'm signed into our work Office 365 account already. So by clicking on zero sign in, it's going to automatically sign me in. If you're using Office 365 account, the same process will happen. If you're using a non-Office 365 account, the first time you will need to go through the sign-in process, enter your email address and your password, two-factor authentication. Sorry, the guest account, then your password, and two-factor authentication, and then you'll be permitted to sign in. So as you see upon signing in, what we've done is that we've pushed buttons at the front here. So if you have access to the boards, PAB boards, the library, or if you have access to the reporting tool, it will appear here. You also have the options at the top menu bar. You'll see that we've added access to the library. So if we click on library, you'll see that it's split into two here. So there's a GB library, the PAB library. You click on the library that you want to see, and again, it goes to the database and it pulls out the content of the library. Again, we're in test mode at the moment, so this library is not up to date, but the functionality is there. The same thing happens again for the PAB library. You click on it, and you get access to the PAB library here. One of the changes that have happened here is the events. So we have three options here. So you can click on again, these events are only available to people who have signed in. It's not available publicly. If you're a GB member, you will have access only to GB, PAB, the same thing. If in my case, I have access to everything, so I have access to both PAB and GB events. You can either come clicking on the individual events and you see all of the different events available. There'll be workshops, meetings, the different classifications which will happen on this side here. At the bottom, you will have access to the files. So unfortunately, at the moment, we're not able to point directly to the, the folder in question for the meeting, but by clicking on files, it will bring you to the, the portal documents, whether it's a PAB or GB, depending on the event. As you see, this is the GB event, so we went through to the GB. We have also implemented a new mechanism for the registration of events. So in this case here, for every time there's a new event, members will be sent an email first and within the email, there'll be a link to the registration. And the same thing will happen here. So either you register to the event through the email, or you can come to the portal, you can see the event, and you click on register. This will take you through to the Teams event registration. So again, information will be provided about the event here. You click on register, you fill in your name, and you register. Once this has been done, you will get an email in your mailbox along with the invite, which can be added to Outlook or whatever mail client that you're using. It could be that in certain meetings we will have an extra form at the end for example, if there are lunches to let members decide what they want for lunch, for example. Okay. Um, yeah. So the other option as well, we see at the bottom here on the services has been expanded again because I have access to everything. I can see the reporting tool, a link to it here, the library. We are also going to be implementing the written procedures. The written procedures is not currently available. We're working on the final voted mechanism to automate the mechanism of the voting component. But eventually, members will be able to come here and participate in the voting for the written procedure. Again, we're going to be using Adobe Sign. So by clicking on the link, you'll be provided a form with the decision, and towards the bottom of the form, you will have to make your vote. The system will automatically capture the information or what you voted, and there's an automation process which will do the calculation and produce a result at the end of the written procedure. And again, here we just have the board event. Again, similar to clicking to the link at the top here. This gives you an overview. Again, if you're a member of both the PAB and GB, as you can see here, you just get a full overview of all of the meetings available. So instead of individually having to go one by one here, by clicking here, you get an overview of all of the meetings which have been planned. In cases where you see there's no icon here, for example, to register, it means that the time has passed and there's an automatic process in the back that removes the registration capability. Only the meetings which are active will have the registration button. Okay, thank you.